A must read for men. How often should men do DIY to be considered excessive? Fathers, today we are going to talk about a more private but very real topic. From a confused primary school chicken to a mature and stable, mature chicken. This is a process that every man has to go through. In this process, there is a topic that always makes brothers pay special attention. That is our lower body problem. Don't be embarrassed. This is very normal after all. It is related to the health and quality of life of our men. In this issue today, I will take everyone to understand this thing that only mature chickens can talk about. Speaking of DIY, everyone's eyes, it is mixed, and there has never been a unified statement. However, although there is endless debate, in fact, many people have had such an experience. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. Let's take a look at the past experiences of the predecessors and see how this matter developed. In the 50s and 60s, the social environment was very different from today, and the concept was relatively conservative. Only about 30 of the male group had their first experience of DIY. With the development of the times, the continuous progress of society, and the gradual opening of people's ideas, by the 1990s, the proportion of men who had their first experience had soared to 60. Now, let's look at this era. The speed of information dissemination is so fast, and all kinds of new things emerge in an endless stream. Little boys receive more and more information, and their sexual concepts become more open. Coupled with the curiosity about their own bodies, they explore DIY earlier and earlier. Usually in adolescence, that is, at the age of 11, the testicles begin to secrete male hormones. The secretion of this hormone will make some little boys have impulses and needs for the first time. It is understood that nearly half of teenagers experience their first DIY at the age of 12-14. So, young people today, despite their young age, may have a lot of qualifications in this regard. In fact, this is not difficult to understand. During adolescence, the body begins to develop. Various physiological changes follow one after another, and curiosity and desire to explore sex also follow. Moreover, with the development of the internet, there are many channels for obtaining information, and it is easy to access some sex-related content, which to a certain extent has also accelerated their exploration in this regard. And we all know that sex is one of the most basic desires of human beings. It is normal to have such needs, and it is not a bad thing. Some brothers may say, I DIY 7 or 8 times a month, and my body is still good without any problems. Indeed, there is no clear scientific conclusion that the number of DIYs will definitely affect men's sexual function. The more times you DIY, will your ability really get worse? This question has always been very popular in the topic circle of boys, and many brothers are confused and worried about it. Let's take a look at the positive side first. In fact, regular DIY is good for the body and mind. It is like a safety valve that can effectively vent the primordial power accumulated in your body and relieve physical and psychological pressure. Moreover, compared with sexual behaviors that require interaction with another person to experience, DIY is relatively safer, and there is no need to worry about contracting sexually transmitted diseases or causing other unexpected situations. Generally speaking, regular DIY will not affect men's sexual function, and there is no clear evidence that it will directly cause problems, such as male sexual dysfunction. However, this does not mean that we can do DIY without restraint. Although it will not directly lead to dysfunction, if it happens too many times, problems will arise. It is easy for the penis to be injured or inflamed, and the mental state of the whole person will also be affected, becoming exhausted and unable to do anything. Therefore, the classic saying, small masturbation is pleasant, big masturbation is harmful, and straw masturbation is wiped out, still makes sense. Let me share hot knowledge with everyone. About 80% of male sexual dysfunction is actually caused by physiological reasons. For example, for a long time, irregular work and rest, and not getting enough rest will affect the functions of various organs. Obesity is also an important factor. Excessive fat will affect the balance of hormones in the body, which will in turn affect sexual function. Smoking is even more harmful. The harmful substances in tobacco will damage blood vessels and nerves, affecting the blood supply of the penis. With the increase of age, the body function gradually declines, and sexual function will also decline. There are also some chronic diseases, such as diabetes and high blood pressure, which will also have adverse effects on sexual function. So, brothers, don't blame all the pots on DIY and pay attention to your health from multiple aspects. Then the question is how much frequency of DIY is reasonable? Brothers try DIY nothing more than a few common reasons. The first is curiosity. During adolescence, the body changes, and I am full of curiosity about this aspect, so I want to explore it. The second is that there is no partner and the physiological needs are not met, so this method can only be used to solve the problem. The third is to relieve stress and relax. Modern society is stressful, and all kinds of troubles in work and study make people breathless. DIY can relieve stress and relax the body and mind to a certain extent. The fourth is to get pleasure, which is the instinctive pursuit of human beings. Of course, under the various preferences of everyone, I believe there must be other reasons. Brothers can share in the commentary to let me learn more. But in fact, no matter whether a boy has had DIY experience in the past, fear of harming the body is always a big stone in everyone's heart. They are worried that if they do it too many times, their ability in that aspect will not be good. So, how to judge the standard of many times? In fact, there is no standard answer to this question because everyone's physical fitness is different. This is like two people running. After running the same lap, the person with good physical fitness may not even sweat much and breathe heavily, while the person with poor physical fitness is already out of breath and exhausted. Only you know your physical condition best. So the key to judging whether the DIY frequency is reasonable is whether it affects the mental state of the next day and whether ding ding has any symptoms of discomfort. As long as you get up the next day, you are full of energy, can work, study and live normally, and ding ding has no pain, redness, swelling and other discomfort reasonable range of times. Brothers DIY is actually very normal, but we must look at it with the right attitude, understand its pros and cons, and master the reasonable frequency. Only in this way can we ensure our physical health while meeting our own needs. I hope that the content shared today can help everyone. If you have other questions or ideas about this, please leave a message in the commentary to discuss and let's communicate together. Well, today's sharing is here. See you next time.